Lawyer and journalist Joseph Haynes Davis joins me now from Orlando, Florida. Good to have you on the program with us. This process to take down these statues began years ago. Why did it take so long?
Well, it's my understanding, and it's based upon several media reports that the Charlottesville, Virginia City Council has the sole authority to remove. So, as a result, that is a complicated process. It's a process based upon law, legislation, and so forth. So that's why it has taken so long for them to make the decision to remove. The city manager cannot destroy, according to reports, cannot destroy, sell, or anything like that without further action from the Charlottesville City Council. So it continues the complexity of this history, the history of the Confederacy, the history of the Civil War, and the history of these two Confederate generals, that being uh, Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. On a personal note, my late father, the late Dr. Miles Dewey Davis, did business with the great great grandson of the late Robert E. Lee, the late Robert E.B. Fielder, when they were doing business with selling landrace hogs, as
Mm.
documented in the 1959 November 22nd issue of Ebony magazine.
Mm.
And one of my legal mentors, the late Rotan Edward Lee, a black man in Philadelphia, is also a descendant of the late Robert E. Lee. And the late Rotan E. Lee was a great attorney in Philadelphia. He was also the president of the school board, etc. So it continues a complex issue of slavery, the Civil War, and the Confederacy.
Yeah, and when we talk about the complexity of it all, some people see these statues as markers of U.S. history and Southern culture, while others see them as offensive reminders of America's history of slavery and racial oppression. So how can we learn from the past so that we don't repeat these same mistakes, but at the same time not glorifying some of these Confederate generals?
Well, the simple answer, I believe, and the most objective answer from me as an analyst and a reporter for TRT, only time will tell. Because the fact of the matter is, it is history. Whether it's history of the stain of slavery and those who fought to maintain the institution of slavery, if it is that being they are now being removed, or the alternative argument is that while it is that stain and while it is that painful history, when you start removing monuments of any kind, there is a slippery slope to that. So only time will tell, only history will tell, and we will see. Again, it is the Charlottesville City Council that has control of this, but I'm sure lawsuits will follow.
You know, and realistically, the act of removing these statues won't end white supremacy, but what does their removal symbolize?
I believe, again, objectively, as your reporter today, I believe it symbolizes the fact that the Charlottesville City Council has enough votes from people who believe it begins to eradicate racist and bigoted symbols. That's what I believe that this symbolizes. Again, on the other hand, because it's always two sides of an argument, when you begin to sterilize history, even when history is as painful as the chattel trade, the human chattel trade here in the United States of America, who whereby I'm a descendant of those instances, uh, it can be dangerous. So again, time will tell, and it is a moment in history that only history will wash it out and we'll be able to review it over time.
All right, thank you, Joseph Haynes Davis, joining us from Orlando, Florida.